Good morning to all. I am Akshya Kumar Das, Assistant Teacher of Kurkapali Panchayat School Birtola, Block Kutra. I heartily welcome you all to this virtual class Sundargarh. So students, we are discussing a tiger in the house. And a tiger in the house, each story is based on three parts, which is written by Ruskin Bond. So this is based on three parts and into three scenes respectively. So in this our previous two classes, we have already discussed its part 1 and part 2. So students, now today we are going to discuss its part 3. So this class is only meant for class part 3. So students, in previous class, I mean in part 2, we have already discussed that the grandfather was found a tiger cub from the jungle and brought it home. So, and the tiger cub was pet of or reared by entire member of grandfathers. And what happened after few months? Wild behavior, or you can say the friend behavior converted into wild behavior. So this is a very dangerous thing. What happened? Grandfather decided to transfer Timothy to zoo. So students, in this class or part 3, we will see how Timothy is behave in the zoo, because now the tiger cub Timothy is in the zoo. You can find or we can find the tiger cub in zoo. So let's go to the smart board and we'll start our lesson. So students, before going to start today's lesson, now we have some question, I mean 5 questions. Through the question I have to check whether you have read at home or not, or whether you have remembered the part 2 or not. So now, who knows the answer, please raise your hand. Pilamana je janibo tome hato tekibo. Okay. Now the first question is, who named the tiger cub as Timothy? Who knows the answer, please raise your hand. Yes, students. Who named the cub as Timothy? Very good, very good. You are reading well. Sit down, sit down. So, grandmother named the tiger cub as Timothy. Now come to the second question. Who was Mahmood? Pilamana ji jani to hata teko. Who knows the answer? Please raise your hand. Very good, very good. You are studying well, reading well. Okay, sit down. So, Mehmet was the cook of grandfather. So, who were Timothy's companion at home? Who knows the answer? Raise your hand. Yes. Toto the monkey and another one was? Small mongrel puppy. Yes. Toto the monkey and the small mongrel puppy were the two companions of Timothy. Very good. So, what was Timothy's favorite amusement? Pilamana amusement tome jani saରିଛ part 2 रे amusement अर्थ होची जो कौतूहल थिला बा कौतुक से आनंद पाए कोन करबा को आनंद पाए से बिले Who knows the answer? Yes, tell me. Yes, what was Timothy's favorite amusement? Yes, tell. Yes, Timothy's favorite amusement to stalk anybody who came across him. जे पाखा को आस्तला पिले कोन करतला ताको stalk बा टिके टिके धीरे धीरे जाय कि ताको डरै पकोतला. Okay. So next question is, why did grandfather decided to transfer Timothy to zoo? काहे कि ट्रांसफर ग्रैंडफादर डिसाइड करले कि से Timothy को zoo रे छाड़ीबा पाए. के जानि छ बिले who knows the answer? Please raise your hand. Yes. Chotanpally High School. Yes, tell me. I request on duty teacher to please help the student regarding microphone issues. Yes, after seeing
Timothy had week. Okay. Tell me. Very good. Changed. Okay. Tell me. Why changed of more often? Yes, students, after seeing such villain intent behavior or dangerous behavior, what happened? Grandfather decided to transfer Timothy to zoo. Very good. Sit down. You are reading well. Sit down. So students, in this slide, we have to recapitulate all the things those you have learned in the previous class or part 2. Okay. So now, grandmother named the tiger cub as Timothy and was brought up by the cook Mahmoud. The diet of Timothy was cod liver oil, raw mutton, pigeons and rabbits. The two companions of Timothy were Toto the monkey and the mongrel puppy. The favorite amusement of Timothy was to stalk anybody who come across him. And after 6 months, wild behavior in Timothy was seen instead of friendly behavior. So, attraction of Timothy towards Mahmoud forced the grandfather to transfer Timothy to Lucknow. पिलाମାନେ ଯେହେତୁ ତାର villain intent behavior ଦେଖାଗଲା ତ grandfather କଣ କଲେ ସେହି Timothy को गोटे जू को नेले. Okay. So there are 3 important things which is included in these slides, and the 3 important things is, okay, Timothy was discovered by grandfather in the jungle, that we have already discussed in part 1. Timothy was brought up pet in home by entire family member of grandfather. Now Timothy was transferred to zoo. These are the 3 things that we can find in the part of the 2. पिलाମାନେ 1 and 2 part 1 and 2 रे हमें पिलाମାନେ 3 टी जिनिस को हमें पाई परिबा, जेमिति कि discover, brought up, or you can say pet it or transfer. These are the main idea and which describe the total concept of the part 1 and part 2. Okay, you will remember this. Okay. So now today's class is based on part 3. Now we have to discuss. So in this slides, the part scenes includes, okay, place the tiger in the zoo, Lucknow, purpose to see tiger cub, and the characteristics are writer's grandfather, tiger and leopard, the 2 zoo authority keeper and spectators. पिलाମାନେ 3 टी जिनिस हम देखिबा को पाइबा, जेमिति कि place माने part 3 टा केउ place रे हेइ अछि. Okay, in the zoo, because grandfather जेहेतु छाड़ी थिले, grandfather left the tiger to zoo so that we can find the tiger cub in the zoo, Lucknow. And purpose, what is the purpose of the scene? To see the tiger cub by grandfather. देखिबा को tiger cub को जिबे. Okay, and characteristics that we have to find in this part of story: writer grandfather, tiger and leopard, the 2 zoo authority keeper and the spectators, it means visitors. पिलामे देखिथिबो zoo रे जेमिति तमे माने भी जाइथिबो कि zoo रे जेमिति spectators बा visitors माने जानती विभिन्न पशु पक्षी को देखिबा पाए. Okay, so let's start our today's lesson. So students, now your teacher is reading or going to read, so we have to focus the pronunciation of the words of the which is present in the paragraph. Okay, so pronunciation को तमे ठीक देखिबो पिले, so you can look at your TV screen or you can look at your book. Okay, so now I am reading. About 6 months later, when my grandparents were visiting relatives in Lucknow, grandfather took the opportunity of calling at the zoo to see how Timothy was getting on. I was not there to accompany him, but I heard all about it when he returned to Dehra. Arriving at the zoo, grandfather made straight for the particular cage in where Timothy had been locked up. The tiger was there, crossed in a corner, full grown and with a magnificent striped coat. So students, I have taken a glossary in where you can find unknown words. If you think, you have to check your knowledge. You have to check your knowledge. If you think these are unknown words, you have to write down your copy. Okay. So now understand कारण पिला माने ए सब वर्ड्स गुडा काम पे ऑब्स्टैकल हे आंती बुझिबा पाए. Okay. So about 6 months later when my grandparents were visiting relatives in Lucknow. So about 6 months later when grandfather had left the tiger. जेते बेले पिले grandfather माने जो टाइगर कप को नहीं की छाड़ी थिले from that period after 6 months. It's 6 मास गला past हला and when my grandfathers were visiting relative in Lucknow, grandfather has certain work, certain things to meet relatives. So what happened? He got a chance. So grandfather took the opportunity of calling at zoo to see how Timothy was getting on. So he got a chance. When he went to meet his relatives, he got a chance. Grandfather got a chance to meet Timothy, that how Timothy is managing in the zoo. केमिति तांकर देखा सुना करा जाउची. You see, call at means visit और get on means manage और परिचालना जाको हमें देखा सुना करिबा कहि थाउ. तो केमिति तिमोथी रो देखा सुना बा परिचालना करा जाउची ताहा देखिबा आपने कोन करले. Grandfather went to the zoo Lucknow. So I was not there to accompany him, but I heard all about it when he returned to Dehra. Here, students, you see here I refers means our author Ruskin Bond. जेते बेले से childhood period रे छोटा थिले, grandparents रहुथिले, सेते बेले से कहिसंती. Here I refers to Ruskin Bond, our author. I was not there to accompany him. मु तांका संगर न थिली संग देवा पाए. Okay, but I heard all about it when he returned to Dehra. When grandfather or you can say grandparents returned to Dehra, at that time they told all the things that happened in the zoo. जहाँ किसी zoo रे घटी थिला सब किसी grandparents तांको बा grandfather तांको घरे आसी की कही थिले. Okay. Next, arriving at the zoo, grandfather made straight for the particular cage in which Timothy had been locked up. So what happened? After went to the zoo. After arriving the zoo, grandfather made straight. Grandfather went straight to the cage where tiger cub had left. पिला माने कौन हैला से ग्रैंडफादर कौन कले सांगे सांग पूरा जेते बेला पहुंची देले सांगे सांग से केच को गले. यू सी हियर केच मींस जनता जहां से माने फिशेस एनिमल माने को रखा जेती. यू सी दिस इज केच वेयर टाइगर इज watch there. Okay. So you see, तो तेणु फादर कौन कर से पर्टिकुलर जो ठारे ताको छाड़ी थिले प्रथम रो से कैच को से स्ट्रेट गले आ किछि दे हैड नॉट ए वेस्ट टाइम. से टाइम को वेस्ट न करी पर्टिकुलर से कैच को गले से जनता को गले where the tiger was there, watch in a corner, full grown and with magnificent striped coat. You see, tiger is there in a cage with full grown. पूरा जेमिति बढ़िबार कथा सेमिति बढ़ीची with magnificent. You see, magnificent mean attractive और जाको हमें ओडिया रे अति सुंदर कहि थाउ. लाइक टाइगर जेमिति बढ़ी जाए सेमिति से कोन करची से क्रॉच करके बसिची. यू सी पार्ट 2 रे हमें क्रॉच रो अर्थ जानि थिला. क्रॉच रो अर्थ होची एमिति आंठू पाड़ी की बसिबा को हमें क्रॉच बोली कहि थाउ. फुल ग्रोन क्रॉच. नाउ द टाइगर इज इन द केज. ओके. With striped coat. You see, striped coat means कोला धोला दाग. पिला माने जेते बेले when tiger cub, when there is striped cub, it means you hardly find this striped coat. जेते बेले पिला माने tiger टी बढ़ी जाए full grown. जेते बेले हमें सेमिति हमें कोला धोला दाग हम देखिबा को मिली थाए. जेमिति यू तुम देखि पारथुबो एटा हमको striped coat कहा जाए. Okay. So come to the next slide. So now I am reading. You have to focus on your book or you can look at your TV screen. Hello Timothy, said grandfather, and climbing the railing with each, he put his arm through the bars of the cage. The tiger approached the bars and allowed grandfather to put both hands around his head. Grandfather stroked the tiger's forehead and picked his ear, and whenever he growled, smacked him across the mouth, which was his old way of keeping him quiet. He licked grandfather's hands and only sprang away when a leopard in the next cage snarl at him, grandfather shoot the leopard, and what happened? In the cage snarl at him and grandfather shoot the leopard away, and the tiger returned to lick his hands, but every now and then the leopard would roost at the bar and the tiger would sneak back to his corner. So students, like other slides, other paragraphs, in this slides also I have taken some glossary, and you can find glossary, different unknown words are there. Okay, so hello Timothy, said the grandfather, and climbing the railing with each, he put his arm through the bar of the cage. ପିଲାମାନେ କଣ ହେଲା, ସେ କେଜ୍ କୁ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ଯାଇଥିଲେ ଆଉ ସେ କଣ କଲେ, ଗ୍ରାଣ୍ଡଫାଦର କଣ କଲେ, hello Timothy, ସେ Timothy କହିକି ଗଲେ and put his arm through the bars of the cage. जो बार थाए, you see, जो बार थाए पिले ए बार रे से कଣ करथिले, एंटर कले तांको हाथ आउ टिमोथी को टच करिबा को नाइले. At that time what happened, the tiger approached the bar and allowed grandfather to put both hands around his head. So at that time tiger also approached the bar. You see, approach means come closer or हम ओडिया रे निकटतर हेबा. जेते बेले ग्रांडफादर गले से केज को एंटर कले हाथ तो कण कला, टाइगर टी धीरे धीरे तांको निकटतर हैला, माने अप्रोच करला, बार पाख को आसीला. You see, now both become friends and both close to each other. Okay, and whenever what happened, grandfather stroked the tiger's forehead and picked his ear, and whenever he growled, smacked him across the mouth, which was his old way of keeping him quiet. So what happened, students? So grandfather stroked the tiger forehead and picked the ear. Strokes mean धीरे धीरे तांको धीरे धीरे ठीक है थपथपे गले. Stroke means एथरे आघात देबा. But in this story you can say ठीक है थपथपे की तांको forehead रे बा कपाल रे थपथपाले. Okay, and you see, picked his ear. Pick mean tapping और हालुका स्पर्श करिबा, तांको ईयर को माने पुल करिबा, धीरे धीरे टाणी देले, लाइक एवरी एफेक्शनली, बहुत स्नेह रे तांको कान से टाइगर रो कान को धीरे धीरे पुल करिबा को लागिले. ओके, वेरी एफेक्शनली, एंड स्मार्क हिम अक्रॉस द माउथ, व्हिच वाज द ओल्ड वे ऑफ कीपिंग हिम क्वाइट. पिला माने जेते बेले व्हेन द टाइगर वाज इन ग्रैंडफादर होम, एट दैट टाइम व्हेन द टाइगर कप started to snarl, जेते बेले और ग्रोल, जेते बेले स्नाल बा ग्रोल करथिला, गर्जन करथिला, कोन करथिले, ग्रैंडफादर तांको धीरे धीरे करी कोन करथिले, तांको माउथ रे कोन करथिले, गोटे थापुडा दउथिले स्नेह रे. सो एट दैट टाइम कोन होतला, से क्विट हो जतला, चुप पड़ी जतला. सो दैट लाइक दैट ही स्टार्टेड टू स्मार्क हिज माउथ and which was the old way of keeping quiet. जेमिति करथिले सेमिति कले. नाउ द टाइगर in silent mode. Okay, now he licked grandfather's hands and only sprang away when a leopard in the next cage snarled at him. You see, he always licked the grandfather's hands. So taku licked, you see, licked means chatiba. So the tiger started to lick the grandfather's hands. You see, धीरे धीरे चाटू जीता हाको grandfather को हाथों को. And when a leopard in the next cage snarled at him, at that time what happened? A leopard always disturbed the tiger. Okay, गोटे leopard थिला, चिता बाघ थिला, कोन करथिला से पिले तांको से tiger को terrify करथुला, भयभीत करथुला. Okay, so but every now and then leopard would rush at the bar and the tiger would sneak back to his corner. So what happened? To terrify, to afraid of tiger to the leopard, what happened? He sprang back to his corner. बारंबार आसी को ताको डिस्टर्ब करथला, भयभीत करिबा ପାଇଁ चेष्टा करथला, so that the tiger slink back. You see, slink back means पछको धीरे धीरे घुंची जाउथला, जेमिति पछको धीरे धीरे घुंची जाउची. Okay, so come to the next slide. A number of people had gathered to watch the reunion when a keeper pushed his way through the crowd and asked grandfather what he was doing. I am talking to Timothy, said grandfather. Why not? You have when I gave him to the Jew 6 months ago. I have not been here very long, said the surprised keeper. Please continue your conversation, but I have never been able to touch him myself. He is always very bad tempered. why don't you put him somewhere else? Suggested grandfather. That leopards keep fighting him. I shall go and see the superintendent about it. So, pilamane, so now we will understand the top paragraph of the part of the story. A number of people had gathered to watch the reunion when a keeper pushed him away through the crowd and asked grandfather what he was doing. At that time, what happened? A lot of people gathered. You see in the picture, a lot of people here gathered to see the reunion. You see, reunions mean get together. After 6 months, tiger cub out grandfather को मध्य reunion होइछि पिले उनी थरे से माने पुनर्मिलन होइछंती meet करिछंती to see that a lot of people gathered to see the reunion of grandfather and the tiger. You can see in the picture विभिन्न बहुत प्रकार लोक अछंती आउ देखुछंती तांको कथा को एनी ऑब्वियसली पिले जण फिरसेस एनिमल एते भयंकित टाइगर पाखकु जे जीव ता पाखर किछि स्नेह करिवो किछि इफेक्शनली करिवो त हमें जानिबा निहाती भाबे people देखी दिबो तमे. Okay, so I am talking to Timothy. At that time, what happened? A keeper asked the grandfather what he was doing. So grandfather told that I am talking to Timothy. More Timothy sangare kotha hochi. Okay, and when not you here when I get him to the zoo 6 months ago. ସେ କଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ପିଲେ ତୁମେ ନଥିଲ କି 6 ମାସ ପରେ ମୁଁ ଯୋ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯୋ ଛାଡ଼ିଥିଲି ତୁମେ ନଥିଲ କି at that time what happened? I have not been here very long, said the surprised keeper. So why did he surprise? Why did the zookeeper surprise? It means ପିଲାମାନେ ତମେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ଯେହେତୁ ସେ ବାଘ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ କଥା ହଉଛି ଗ୍ରାଣ୍ଡଫାଦର ହଉଛନ୍ତି ତ obviously surprise keeper ଟି surprise ହେଇଯିବ. Okay, so that please continue your conversation. You see, conversation means kathavarta. So the zookeeper told grandfather, continue your conversation. Chalo kathavarta ho. Okay. So, but I have never been able to touch him myself. He's always very bad temper. So, but keeper told the grandfather that I have never been touched. That is very dangerous. So I am never able to touch him. Kebe mu taku chui parini. Because he is very dangerous in nature. Okay. So, why don't you put him somewhere? Suggested grandfather. So, grandfather suggested that, why don't you put him somewhere else? Tanku olga rakhu na ho kahe ki? Because always a leopard disturb the tiger. So that the tiger cub separated from the leopard should be separated from this tiger. Okay. So, but the zookeeper did not listen or was not ready to listen whatever the grandfather told. Okay, so that leopards keep fighting him and I shall go and see the superintendent about it. So that I should go to the superintendent of the zoo and I will inform all about it. Okay, so what happened? So, grandfather went in search of the superintendent of the zoo, but found that he had gone home early. And so, after wandering about the zoo for a little while, he returned to Timothy's cage to say goodbye. It was beginning to get dark. He had been stroking and slapping Timothy for about 5 minutes when he found another keeper observing him with some alarm. Grandfather recognized him as the keeper who had been there when Timothy had first come to the zoo. So student, now we will understand the paragraph of the story. So grandfather went in search of the superintendent of the zoo to inform what happened in the cage. So he wanted to inform all things to the superintendent. So that he went to search the superintendent. कौन कहले से superintendent को जनाइबा पाई खोजिबाकू लागिले. Okay. So but found that he had gone home early. And so, after wandering about the zoo for a little while, he returned to Timothy's cage to say goodbye. It was beginning to get dark. But grandfather did not find superintendent of the zoo because से दिन रे कोन हितिला पिले से superintendent जो थिले से अर्ली घर को बहुत जल्दी घर को चली. Okay, you see, superintendent was not in his office. You see in the picture. पिलामे तमे देखि पारतबो कि सीट ता तांकर खाली अछि. It means the superintendent was absent there. Okay. So what happened? He returned to Timothy's cage to say goodbye. After wandering, you see, wandering means moving from place to place or without a plan. He had nothing to do, so that he wandering a little while. And what happened? He went to Timothy's cage to say goodbye. Se kona kale Timothyର to say goodbye. But it was beginning to get dark. धीरे धीरे अंधार हेबाको लागि थाई पिले. Next, he had been stroking and slapping Timothy for about 5 minutes when he found another keeper observing him with some alarm. At that time, so he started to go to the Timothy's cage or tiger cage, or started to stroking and slapping the tiger before. ଯେମିତି ଆଗରୁ କରୁଥିଲେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆସିଥିଲେ ଯେମో ସେମିତି କରୁଥିଲେ ସେମିତି ଭାବରେ ତାକୁ stroking and slapping ବା ଚାପୁଡା ଦେଉଥାନ୍ତି. Okay, ସ୍ନେହରେ. And another keeper observing from distance. At that time what happened? Another keeper, okay, observing from distance place. तांको पिलाମାନେ देखुथबो तमे तो distance ରୁ गोटे keeper तांको देखुची. Okay, so with some alarm, grandfather recognized him as the keeper who had been there when Timothy had first come to the zoo. But what happened? The grandfather recognized. You see, recognize means identify or चिन्हिबा. But the grandfather recognized or identified the zoo keeper that Timothy had first come to the zoo. प्रथमे जेतेबेले तिमोथी को छाड़िबा पा आसीतिले सेतेबेले सेही zoo keeper एठारे थिले. Okay पिले. So how did you? Yes, listen to me. How did you know it was Timothy? How did you know? तमे केमिति जानिलो कि सेरा तिमोथी बोलिकी? Yes, because the old keeper told that Timothy was died of pneumonia. So how did you tell this is Timothy? This is the tiger. Okay, this is the tiger. पिला माने हमें जेमिति गोटे फेरियस एनिमल को हमें जेमिति ताहाको हमें लॉ पे इन्फेक्शन देबा in return we get the same. हमें जेमिति गोटे डेंजरस एनिमल हेतिले मध्य जेमिति हमें लॉ पे इन्फेक्शन देबा we should get return back such law and infection and fear. Okay, so tell me, the tiger, the grandfather, the tiger, the zookeeper or zoo authority absent, character absent achi pile, and the visitors are in this part of the story. Come to the next question. When did grandfather visit the zoo? When did grandfather visit the zoo? Yes. When did? So student, when did grandfather visit? After 6 months later, nahi? After? Do after 6 months later. Okay. Very good. Sit down. So the grandfather visited the zoo about 6 months after he had put Timothy in the zoo. Zoo ru mane प्रथमे जेते छाड़ीतिले ता परे 6 मास परे से विजिट करी गले. Okay. Now, how did the tiger behave towards the grandfather in the cage? How did the tiger behave towards the grandfather in the cage? जो केज रे थिला सेते बेले केमिति पिले बिहेव देखौतला टाइगर ग्रैंडफादर को. Yes, देखो फ्रेंडली, very good, friendly. ठीक है, एक्सप्लेन करिए. So students, you have to tell the answer in full sentences. Okay, comprehension type of question को हम full sentences देवा को चेष्टा करिबा. Okay. So anyway, very good. So the tiger licked the grandfather hands out of the fear of love and affection. Very friendly behavior से देखो देला. Okay. So you have to note down. जहाँ भी अच्छी तरह note करो. And why did the grandfather shoot the leopard away? ताकि घोड़े दी थी बिले सू. Your सू means घोड़ाइवा. Why did the grandfather shoot the leopard away? Yes, who knows the answer? Please write it. Okay. Yes. Very good. You are reading well. Very good. Sit down. Because The grandfather shoot the leopard away as it snarled at Timothy or snarled at tiger. Okay. Now come to the next question. Why did the grandfather suggest to the keeper? Why did the grandfather suggest to the keeper? Bodha Government High School, yes. What's the answer? Please raise your hand and tell. Yes. Tell the answer. Yes. Okay, very good. The grandfather suggested that, very good, sit down. The grandfather suggested to the keeper that the tiger should be kept somewhere else away from the leopard as the leopard kept frightening him all else. So, bile taku terrified dorebaku chesta korichi pili leopard. So that the leopard should be separated from the cage of tiger. Okay. So, why the tiger really Timothy? How do you know this? What do you think? Why the tiger really Timothy? How do you know this? Sera kona Timothy thila ki? And you say this is you say yes. So how do you know this? Lemon, jodi yes kohucha tahale kai ki tame yes kohucha? Yes, tell me. Why the tiger really Timothy? Certain Valley High School. Yes. No. So if you're telling no, then what? So why do you know this? Yes, no. Very good. Yes. Very good. So the tiger was not really Timothy. Where we come to know this from the other keeper. The keeper said that the present tiger is not Timothy because Timothy was died of pneumonia. Pneumonia ru 2 masa purbo se mari jaichi. Okay. So what did the keeper say to grandfather about the tiger? What did the keeper say to grandfather about the tiger? Tiger samudra se kona kahithile pile? Se keeper ti kona kahithila old keeper? Kona kahithila? Yes. Certain Valley High School. Yes. Very good. Yes, and this is not your tiger, okay? Your tiger is, that the tiger was died of 2 months ago of pneumonia. Very good. You are reading well. Very good. Keep it up. So, the keeper said to the grandfather about the tiger that the tiger was trapped in the hill only last month and it was really very darkness. Ratire tanku gote jungle ru anithile. Okay? So, student, this is all about the story A Tiger in the House, and I hope you will study at home. You have to practice part 1, part 2 and 3 because this story is based on part 1, part 2 and part 3. So, taku out ke pada pile. All the best for your examination. Thank you. Have a good day.